All right. Welcome, everybody. We are live. We are back. Today is October 22, 2025. My name is Alan Sama. I am the head coach at OptionGenius, and this is the OptionGenius Show. We come live every Wednesday and Friday at 1 p.m. Central Time. And today I am by myself. Usually I have my partner in crime, Matt. But he had some internet issues and he could not make it. So it's just me today. All right. So let's get into it. Where are we? Well, um, let's see here. I can't zoom. Okay. Um, so markets are down considerably. SPX is down 0.9%. The Russell's down 2.2%. Oil is actually up 2%. We'll talk about that in a second. Nasdaq is down 1.3. The Dow Jones hit an all-time high yesterday, but it's down today at zero point 0.8. Gold is down another zero point 0.7. The VIX is up over 20%. That thing, something we need to keep an eye on. Bitcoin's been trending lower. It's at about 108. 108,000. So today, markets are down, and just about everything is down. Lots of stuff is down across the board, except for things that have been going down, and they're actually a little bit up today. So most things are down today, and a lot of the companies that we have been riding are heavily down today. One of my favorites, Hood, is down about 7%. Netflix had earnings yesterday. They're down 10%, even though they said that they are growing in terms of subscribers. So it's interesting because now we're heading into earnings season. We don't have any real financial data because of the government shutdown, which is now, I think it's the second longest in history, and there's really no sign of it cutting back. So, we'll continue with that without the government data. We're getting some inflation reports tomorrow. Don't know how accurate they will be, though. But we'll see how it goes. The big news is going to come from earnings. We have Tesla and IBM coming out after the bell today, so that'll give us some indication. I'm not sure what indication it'll give us, but I do believe Tesla is going to report that they sold less cars. They sold good cars, going into the EV credit shutdown. So they sold a lot of cars then. After that, I think things probably dried up for them. So we'll see what happens. We might have another down day tomorrow based on that. Um, but yeah, the big news over the last couple days is the massive decline, for me at least, in gold. I was heavily in gold, took a bath. Gold is down today about 0.6%. It was down about 3 or 4% yesterday. And it hasn't had that much of a drop in many, many years. But if you take a look at the gold chart, you can see that it kind of made a really, really big high and it started getting ahead of itself. So the daily moves were much larger than before. And that usually happens when you're getting close to a top, or at least a short-term top, when it gets overextended, overbought. And I think that's kind of what happened with gold. I don't think the gold rally is over. Everything that has pushed it to go higher is still there. I do believe that there were people, a lot of the retail trade and the momentum trades, and even Wall Street that is still behind. So that's a interesting conundrum. But even Wall Street players, I believe, were heavily into gold. And then we couple days ago, 3 days ago, not yesterday, 2 days ago, we went up a lot. Gold was up a huge percent, and then the next day it was down. Yesterday, down a lot. So I think a lot of people started taking profits. That hey, it's time to get out of this. It's been too far, too much. It's extended. And so they took profits. I unfortunately did not. So that hurt. And on the other side, I was too much into gold. which is something that is also that you need to be aware of, that you're not too overextended into one sector or one industry or one commodity in this case. I did have put spreads on GLD. I had actually in the futures with gold contracts. And I also have shares and long calls in Nugget, NUGT, which is a gold miner ETF. Luckily, I got out of the GLD put spreads on that high day. So I was able to get out there and didn't take the loss there, but I did take the loss on the futures contracts. And then Nugget, which is the gold miners ETF, really took a bath. I think it was down like 20% yesterday. I mean, some crazy, ungodly number. Today it's down another 2%. So yeah, those shares are massively down and the options are massively down. So we'll see what happens. Right now, gold is trading at 4,088. It got all the way up to almost over 4,300. So it was due for a pullback. We got a pullback. I'm hoping that 4,000 is going to be the support level. And if it is, great. We can, get back in or stay in and go up from there. If it drops below 4,000, might be time to pull the ripcord because no telling how far it's going to fall. So Mike's saying that he sold the 130 Nugget puts yesterday, and he's going to roll them forward if he has to. Yeah, so Nugget today is at 133, down 2%. So yeah, that would have been. I'm sure, Mike, you got a pretty good credit for that, selling it yesterday on the major down day. So that was a smart move. I was already too much into gold, and so I did not place that trade. But that's a very smart thing to do when you're watching and something is down so incredibly much, especially when there's no reason for it, right? If there was a logical or a fundamental reason or a shift in gold prices and the gold reasoning of why it's gone up so much, that would make sense to, okay, not do that. But when there wasn't any news, there wasn't really anything going on. It was just, oh, hey, market's down, silver sold, get out. It happens. You can call it a blow off top if you want, but I think it's part time or short term, and then it's going to turn around, hopefully, and we'll be heading higher. So I'm not giving up the ghost here, but it does not feel good to be sitting on these losses. That's for sure. Especially when, it took so long to make them, and then they're wiped out in one day with a big move lower. The big thing I did, I think it was just overextended. I got in too much. You're in put spreads and you're in minors and you're in futures contracts. That's too much. And so I paid the paid the price for that. Lesson learned, wrote it down, made it, stamp it on your hand and be like, okay, hey, you got to be careful. Um, Especially when markets are running away like this. So, what else we got? In terms of the markets, oil is up today after pulling back significantly, has been going down, down, down. There was a news report today that it's been a couple days. Trump came out and said, "Hey, Russia is going to stop buying India is going to start buying Russia oil, and they're going to buy it from the markets itself." And today, because of that, the tariffs were lowered on India because they are now not buying Russian oil. I don't really believe that. Um, so it might just be headline. I don't think they're going to stop buying Russian oil, but we'll see what happens. And if they do not stop, then eventually the tariffs will go back up on them. So we'll see what happens. Just a game, just a game. And then today, Reuters came out with a news report that the Trump administration is thinking about considering um, industry-wide software limits on what software and what companies can do business with China because of the rare earth thing, where China is not selling as much rare earth to the United States. And so that is going to be pretty negative for the markets if that actually goes through. Again, we'll see what happens. But yeah, it just seems that the market wants to go up, but the Trump administration wants to keep pushing it down. But the Fed was going to have a meeting. end of the month, almost almost required that they're going to sell or they're going to lower rates again. So that's good. And then October is almost over. So we got November, December, and those are the two best months usually for option sellers like us because the market is usually calm, and it's usually calm because of all the holidays that come up. The markets are closed for a long time. Traders go on vacation. Wall Street's on vacation. Washington is on vacation in this sense, hopefully. So that'll be good news. Will the government be open by then? Hopefully. No, no telling. But there are some deadlines coming up, especially with open enrollment for healthcare coming up on November 1st. So um, that might put some pressure behind the government to say, "Hey, let's get this thing open again." So we'll see what happens. Mike saying that with the GEV down today, he sold some puts for a pretty good credit. GEV, he sold the 517 puts, and GEV is at 562, down 4%, with earnings coming up. But yeah, so that's a pretty good percentage. You're pretty far away from the money. So I like that one. I like that a lot. GEV had a headline today that they are in talks with OpenAI about power. So they might become a electricity supplier to OpenAI. So if that does go through, that'll be another uh, customer for them. So more money, that'll be great. So GEV will continue to roll. It has pulled back from its all-time highs. So that's kind of been the mood for the overall market. Things that were working, GEV was working, GE was working. Both of them were going higher and higher, and they're kind of pulling back a little bit. So kind of a refresh. And so if you own the stock, then covered calls might work in this situation with everything pulling back. But with the VIX up over 20, we're seeing bigger moves. Today is a market power day, so that's great for our market power users. I think we're up 20 or 21 trades in a row, being profitable. So today is a good one, another one, and hopefully it'll work out for tomorrow. Um, Everything else is pretty calm except for gold. So no really big issues to worry about except for gold. And so even though with the VIX up over 20. So keep it going, see how it goes. Now, I wanted to uh, go over a couple things. Recently, we did a survey. So we surveyed our customers, and we just sent out a quick survey and said, "Hey, we have a couple questions. If you guys can take some time and answer it, that'd be wonderful to get into their minds to really figure out what our traders are looking for, what our traders are wanting, what's bothering them." And so the first question that we asked them really was, "Hey, what is keeping you up at night right now?" That's the first question. We had three questions, so it's not a big survey, but it's like, hey, what is bothering you? What is keeping you up? What are you worried about? What is holding you back? And the answers were telling. People are concerned about generating consistent second income from trading. The fear of running out of retirement money is still there. Not having a large enough retirement fund is another one. Some people are short on monthly income because living costs have continued to rise and outstripping what they're getting paid. So their pay is not increasing, but costs of living have gone up. Rent costs, real estate costs, groceries, everything has gone up. And people right now don't have enough money to pay their bills. So these are not, this is not the Joe Schmo off the street who's working at McDonald's. This is people who are in our community, people who are actually trading. So they actually have money. They are trading, they have money, and even they are worried about running out of retirement money, short on monthly income. So that's very telling. Because it's not a recession. The economy is still doing fine, but it does feel like there is a lot of pressure on people. And it's not just impacting the lower middle class, it's impacting the middle class, the upper middle class. And so that's, something we need to worry about. They also said, in terms of trading, they're afraid of not mastering the skills they need for financial freedom. They do want to get their goals faster, which is not happening. And they're looking for consistent edge in trading. So they've been trading different things. They're going back and forth. Something works for a little bit, then it stops, then another thing, and it stops. Um, and then the emotional toll of taking large losses or losing money on trades is also something that has been bothering them. So something that I'm going through right now with my losses on gold. So yeah, it is tough, right? When you go through a large loss, and we have talked about that in the past in our podcast. We're going to be talking about that a lot in the club that we're releasing soon. That's going to be our main program. That's going to be, the club is going to be basically we're discontinuing all of our programs and putting everything that we have into the club. And it's going to be a one size fits all sort of, um, where it's going to give, depending on whatever level you are in your options trading journey, is going to give you the exact information that you need at that point in time to get you to the next level. And so, in the beginning, yes, you are afraid of losing money. But not until you get a higher account do you have to worry about, oh, hey, how do I overcome, now that I've lost a lot of money, now how do I deal with that? So they're two different scenarios, even though they're both fear-based, they're two different, totally different ways to overcome that. And so we built both of those into the program. I know for sure that we talk about that a lot. And we'll continue to talk about it because it is something that happens in trading. You will lose money. And if you make human mistakes, right? I'm going to give myself an example. I was overextended. I should not have taken on so much risk in gold, and I should not have leveraged as much as I did with the futures contracts. So that was very, very painful. The stocks with the nugget, I get it. I think those will bounce back. If not, I can wiggle my way out of those. But with futures contracts, it wasn't just options, it was actually contracts. So those are highly leveraged. And when you take a loss, the loss is pretty big. And so um, I'm dealing with that right now. So I kind of have I kind of know what I'm talking about. The other thing that they're worried about is they're concerned about a volatile market. And a lot of people do believe that a crash is coming. So, Trump was a response by several people that answered that they're afraid of what Trump is doing. They're afraid of Trump's executive orders and tariffs and deal making and negotiating and all of his tweets that come out that can send the market up or down or stocks up or down, and not have any rhyme or reason to it. Or maybe he does, he might have a greater scheme, plan that we are not aware of. But yeah, so there is legitimate concern there. Many people mention that. Uh, he still has 3 years left, 3 years and 2 months left. So we're gonna have to get used to that because we cannot be out of the market just because of who the president is, right? And so whatever is happening in the market, we need to be aware of it. When we need to be able to back off when things are too crazy. And if we do feel that, hey, this is coming, then there's no shame in getting out of the market at any time and moving to cash or moving to a treasury bill or a bond or something like that. Those aren't doing that well either. Rates are dropping, so the bonds are not doing that well either. Um, but that's why we talk about being diversified. So in the beginning, right, I mentioned that people are afraid of not having enough money, running out of money for paying the bills. So for that, we need income. And for that, we sell options. As you grow and as your account grows and your financial situation is better off, you add more diversification into it. And so that way, if we do have a market downturn, a market crash, it's an opportunity more than it is a devastation. So I definitely, do think that at a certain level, you need to diversify away from the stock market. And I've been doing that for the last few years, putting money into real estate, putting money into other investments. Because right now I feel like I have, um, you know, I got a few $1 million in the stock market, and I don't know if I want to put more. So as the accounts grow, it gets concerning. It's like, okay, if there's a crash, it's going to be pretty big, and my losses are going to be pretty big. I don't know how I'm going to handle that. Because as you get older, the numbers continue to grow and get bigger and bigger, and you're not used to it. So um, that's kind of the way it works. And so we're going through this together. Um, those are what people are afraid of right now, what people are, what's keeping people up. The second question that we asked them was, what do you need help with? Right? What can we help you with as Option Genius? And what would you be interested in? And people were talking about developing consistency. They want to have consistent income, consistent profitability, mastering the market over and over again, and having good profits. And so it's like, hey, I want to win, a lot on my trades, and I want to have good returns. Yep, that's makes sense. That's what everybody wants. The problem there is sometimes we get too caught up. We want what we can't have in a sense, because there is a lot of noise in the market. There's a lot of fakeness. I guess it's not fake news, but it's like fake ads, right? People not telling the truth when they are trying to sell you a trading program or a trading system or any kind of get rich quick scheme or investment scheme. I'll give you the example of my father. He recently, he's in his 80s. And he's been involved in real estate for a long time. So that's his thing. He knows real estate. And so he bought this course that promised him the moon on tax sales, basically uh, buying tax liens at auction and making good money from that. And I don't know if you've ever heard of that before, but it's like, when people don't pay their property taxes, the government or the county can then put a lien on the property and then they auction that off. And so investors can then buy that lien, and then the owner of the house has a certain amount of time to pay that money back with a lot of interest. And if they don't, then the house goes to the investor. So it's great if you can find properties. It's a really, really lucrative way that you can make money if you can find properties. And so that was the sales pitch. Um, and he fell for it. He bought the course, he did the work, he's been after it for several months now. He spends all day. Every month, the properties come out that, okay, these are the properties that are going to be put at auction, and there's like maybe 50 to 100 properties. So he goes through each and every single one of them, does the research, finds out, okay, who the owner is, and I don't know how he does all this, but yeah, he finds out, when they last made a payment and who the loan does it have a mortgage or not, and he's doing all this work, and then finally he narrows it down to like, a handful of properties that might be a good buy, and he wants to try to get them, right? He wants to get the for pretty cheap. So, the last 3 months, he's gone to the auction house, and every single property that he wanted to bid on did not get to auction, meaning that somebody came and paid off the lien, the taxes, before the auction could happen. And that's what normally happens, because you're talking about, in some cases, a 300, 400, $500,000 house that is being auctioned off for like $5,000 or $10,000 or $50,000. Now, nobody in the right mind that owns a $500,000 house is going to let somebody else buy it for 50,000. So yes, they come and they pay off the lien. Um, Especially if there's a mortgage. The mortgage company will go and pay off the lien. So somebody's paying off the lien, and then those houses do not get optioned. So he comes back and he's all dejected because he didn't get anything. And I told him, that's probably what's going to happen. Now I'm glad and I'm proud of him for trying. That's great. But he wasted a lot of time and, you know, these kinds of things, they might work. You know, you don't know until you try them, but uh there's depending on what is told and how it's sold is if you can trust it or not. And so in most cases when it comes to options and trading and forex and crypto and all that, it's a bunch of lies. It's a bunch of baloney. So, you know, take that. That's take it for what it's worth. Um, and then let's see, the third question that we had is what is your biggest dream? So like what is your goal, right? What do you want? What are you trying to accomplish? And the traders that we talked to or filled out our survey told us that the number one dream was financial independence and to retire on their own terms. They want to have income, full-time income from trading, from investments, from dividends. They want to have a financial security and they want to work if they decide to. They want it to be optional. So not everybody wanted to quit their job. Some people really enjoy their jobs, but they want to work on their own terms. So if that means, hey, maybe I don't work full time, that's great. You know, that's what they want to have that option. Um, a number of people said that they wanted to trade comfortably for a living. So that we have that on the other side. Like, hey, I don't want to, you know, I actually want to quit my job and start trading for a living. Um, and a lot of people said that they don't want to spend a lot of time on the screen, which is what we expected. Um, so, uh, you know, So those are the three. And this is like we used this information to help us build out the club, to help us really understand our customers, our traders, to have a better idea of what they're dealing with. And our goal is really that for all the things that they said, hey, what is keeping them up at night? Well, we want to make sure that they have a way out. Like you have a path that you can take. So if not having enough money is keeping you up at night, well, then we want to give you a tool, a roadmap, something that you can overcome that. And that's the whole idea behind the club. So I'm happy with what we have so far, and I've been looking at the materials that we've been putting in, and we've come up over the years with some really, really good stuff. So it's like, wow, man, some of this stuff that we've created like several years ago, 4 or 5 years ago, and I've never seen since, right? But I've been going through it, and I'm like, oh man, this is some really, really good stuff. If people just paid attention to this, it's gonna really change lives. So I'm really excited about what we've come up with and how it's coming together. Um, we'll see. We're going to let in about 30 people up front, and probably maybe another week or so we'll be ready to have people come in, have them kick the tires. We're going to give them a really good deal, the first 30, and have give them a little really good offer so that they can come in, kick the tires, be our little guinea pigs, make sure everything's working, and then we'll be able to answer any questions and give them some one-on-one support. After that, maybe a few weeks, month later, we'll let a few more people in, and slowly, slowly, we'll keep letting more people in because right now our staff is really small. Our coaching staff is just me and Matt, and so we want to make sure everybody has the proper support that they need, answers all their questions. And we're going to be doing a lot more trading with people, with the group, with the club than we do now. So that's going to be a big part of it, live trading sessions and whatnot, and looking at trades together. So I think a lot of learning can be done by watching. But you watch videos and you get one thing, but then when you watch it done, it's a whole different concept, right? So it's going to a different level. So you have to understand the basics, understand the lingo, understand the jargon, and then when you watch somebody else do it, and then, we might even get to the point where at the more advanced levels, we will let our traders themselves, the customers, the clients in the club, we will let them find trades and then we will critique them. So I think that's going to be fun too. So um, So we'll see how it goes. And let's see what else. Let me see any other comments. Nope, no other comments right now. We do have the SmackDown. So let me get to that and pull that up. Share my screen. All right. So for to SmackDown, let's see. Oh man, there's a lot of negatives. So let's see. We can see here we have this is up 2%, up 4%, up 19%. Geos is still up 19%. This is all as of today. So that looks like Geos looks like it's in the lead. So Mark Strickland, you're in the lead right now. A pretty comfortable lead because there's a lot of people that are in the negative and everybody else is under 5%. So we only have one stock that is double digit up. Um, and you can see here some of these stocks, Ion Q, Lucid, BMR, Bitmine, I think, Hood. These guys are down double digits. And yeah, so the meme stocks are taking a hit. And you know, for now, the meme craze might be over. Um, the stocks that were rare earth typey stocks, the quantum computing typey stocks, those guys are taking a hit. And so that might be over for now. We'll see what happens. GDX, Mike, you're down about 6.5, 7%. So it's still anyone's game, but we got about a week left. And Mike Strickland is firmly in the lead. So, congratulations. We're not done yet, but that's where we stand. And that's all I had for today. So, appreciate your time. And, we'll keep an eye out on what's going on. We'll be back on Friday. Hopefully, Matt will be able to join me. Again, whoops. Keep sending your comments. Keep sending us your feedback. We appreciate it, and we're working hard on getting the club ready to go. So I'm excited for that. Um, and I think that going into the end of the year, going into next year, things are going to be looking very, very positive for club members and the overall market. I do believe is going to be higher next year. It's up this year, right? Double digits. We'll see how it goes for the next couple of months. And then next year, fingers crossed, we have a good year. But yeah, everything else is working. Market power has been working. 21 trades in a row has won money. So that's doing well. And most of the trades in the memberships are doing well. So we expect to continue that. But if we do have a turndown, right? If we do have a market crash, that would be, that would be a time like when markets go down, that's when people like pull back, right? That's when they're like, oh no, I don't want to be in the market. I don't need to pay for more education because I lost more money. I don't want to be in the market itself anymore. And that's actually the wrong time to get out. So I think if we do have a market crash, that will be when the club will really help because you'll have other people to talk to. You'll have other traders that are going through similar to what you're going through that have probably been through it before. We're going to have some really advanced traders in there that have already, committed. So people that have gone through it before, people have been through it and come out the other side, and they're going to be able to help out. And so I think that's the best time to be in a community. And we could have called it. We did have an email that I sent out asking for help with naming the club, and we got a lot of great names. A lot of people submitted some really cool names, um, uh, and I think I've chosen one that I really like. But I wanted to keep the focus on having it be a community, right? So it's called the club, not the Option Genius Powerhouse or the Option Genius Make Money program or something like that. That's not the focus. The focus is that it's a community, it's a club. We're all helping together, and we're going to learn together. And I know myself, you know, been like with our different programs, I've learned through coaching others as much as they've learned from coaching by me. So, um, so I'm excited by that, and I've seen some of the people that are interested, and I'm like, okay, yeah, these are some some really really good traders that are interested in joining. So I'm sure that I'm going to get some great ideas from them. I'm going to learn from them, and they're going to keep me accountable. So I'm excited about that. That's a good feature. But for now, right now, I'm hoping gold goes back up. That's what I'm hoping on. So let's see what happens. Um, right now, markets are still about where they were before, and we'll see what happens. So, um, stay, you know, keep trading with the odds in your favor. Know your rules, stick to your rules, no matter how dicey it gets, and you should come out fine on the other end. Again, we're not going to win every day. We're not going to win on every trade. But over time, the odds are in your favor. The odds work out. The math works out. So, again, you got to keep in mind trading is not a 1 day thing. It's not a 1 month thing. It's not a 1 year thing. It's a multi-year process. Over time, it just works. So stick to your guns, stick to your goals, stick to your rules. Um, and